Hey guys, what's going on? In this podcast, we're going to talk about crazy trades. Now, crazy doesn't necessarily have to mean high risk. I think there is a way to look at the markets that produces insane trades like 10, 20, 30, 50x. Like if you would, for somebody that just trades shares, right? Like, my God, you'd have to hold on to something to the magnitude of 10, 20 years to get those kind of returns. I'm talking about getting potentially those type of returns on current market conditions. See, most of the people that just severely discount the market conditions, like if there was one thing that you were to really focus on as a trader, it's identifying the market conditions when you should go extra big, extra heavy, extra crazy on a crazy kind of trade. You go extra crazy on an extra crazy kind of trade, you're like, oh my God, well, my account just did. Like, we have traders, for example, reaching out to 13 market moves that have lost millions in the account. So yesterday, I took a call from a guy that called and said, Leo, I need fucking help. I said, what's up? He's like, look, dude, I lost 3.1 million in the markets in last 2 years. And I need to make that money back. And I said, well, what type of trading are you doing right now? He said, well, dude, like, I see the, shit is going high, I'm buying calls, and when it's going lower, I'm buying puts. I'm like, oh, hold on a second. You just defined the major flaw in your trading. You don't do that. You do exactly the opposite of that if you want to be making money as a trader. He's like, well, Leo, but I can't. I can't. You mean you want me to do you want me, when something goes higher, you want me to buy puts? And I said, no, that's not exactly what I want you to do. The general idea is correct, but that's not, you want to do that under circumstances when certain market conditions are met. And the guy was like, what market conditions are there? Well, I said, well, there's certain chart patterns and probabilities that we'll look at, and even if you look at the stuff that we'll look at, it doesn't guarantee a 10, 20, 50x trade every day, but it certainly increases your probability of nailing one. So he said, what the fuck I gotta do, Leah? I said, number one, you study the chart patterns. So if I'm trading with you, you're not just, you really understand what a move 11 is, because there are 3 variations of a move 11. If you don't understand, I'm telling you, like, we're trading move 11 today. If you don't get it, how could you trade with a high level of certainty? So anyway, I'm not going to cover the whole conversation here, but the point is clear. Focus on the chart patterns. Focus on the moves. Focus on the sequences of the moves if you want to beat the markets. Now let's get down to the core of the subject, and that is, why could Bitcoin drop to 12,000? Whoa, shit. Wild, Leo. You must have lost your mind again. Yeah. People told me that right ahead of the COVID crash. They said, there's no way the market can crash, and you're calling for a market crash. Why would you call for a market crash when things are so good? Well, what, you're supposed to call for a market crash when things are so bad? Fuck. Where is the logic there? Okay, so Bitcoin 12,000. Ethereum $300. Whoa, Leo, I can't listen to that. I own Ethereum. Solana $20. Leo, I'm pausing this video now. I can't listen to this anymore. Leo, are you talking about, well, Solana is at like 150 now. Ethereum is at 20 fucking what? 200, 300, 400 now. You're saying it's going to 300? Oh my God. So, and like, okay, Bitcoin is going to 12,000. Have you lost your mind? That's the first thing you would, when somebody throws some crazy fucking numbers at you like that, you're like, what, have you lost your mind entirely? Or is there a little bit left in your mind? No. I'm going all in on this, guys. And it is based on 3 factors. Let me break down the trade. I mean, it sounds stupid as fuck, but let me break down the trade. And maybe it's going to start making sense to some of you. So, there is such thing as a move 2. That's point number 1. Point number 1. Focus on point number 1. Point number 1 is a move 2. Pre-election, Ethereum trades at 2,400. When Trump wins the election on November 6, 2024, Ethereum begins to rocket higher. Now, I'm recording this on March 7th, 2025. Ethereum trades under the level where Ethereum was trading before Trump election. What is the fucking point, Leo? Well, the point is, not only Ethereum has erased all the gains from the date of Trump election, but it went below that. Below, meaning like how much lower than below? Well, 16%. So there was a moment recently where Ethereum breaks below 2,000, and some people were thinking that was wild and crazy. And there was some people, if you were to ask them a month ago, well, could Ethereum drop below 2,000? They would tell you belong in a fucking mental institution. And so now they're joining 13 market moves because, well, hey, we told you that was the fucking trade before anybody saw it, to short it. Short the fuck out of Ethereum. Short the fuck out of Bitcoin. And, hey, Bitcoin has done good as far as options concerned and some of the strikes we had. But Solana, shit, guys. If we were to measure the points where Solana was trading ahead of Trump win, the election win on November 6th, and measured to the drop in Solana, we're talking about a 30% drop, which means, what am I really describing here? Like, it's probably like some of you probably clicked off the video already, but like for those of you that are really trying to understand the market, what am I describing? I'm talking about Ethereum and Solana for a reason. Why would I be talking about that? Well, based off the timeline I just given you, if you look at the charts, it's a move to on Ethereum and Solana. And yet, the only thing that is nowhere close to breaking the Trump election day victory is what? Bitcoin. So my argument is this. It's very simple, okay? And it's based on point 2. Point 2 is there is such a factor when you look at crypto as Bitcoin dominance. So for those of you that are not familiar with such a thing, Bitcoin dominance means that out of all the money that is in crypto at this moment, 60% of all the money, all of it that goes into crypto space, 60% of it belongs to Bitcoin. And 40% belongs to all the other coins. So Bitcoin dominance changes from time to time. Meaning, if we focus on a market share of Bitcoin in relation to the market share of altcoins. It changes with time. So there are times where Bitcoin could be dominating the market, where majority of the money, let's say 70%, goes into Bitcoin. There are times when only 40% goes into Bitcoin. And therefore, when that fluctuates, you are better off betting on alternative coins known as altcoins. So basically, you want to place your bet out of Bitcoin because you're going to make a larger return on alternative investment into other coins. So to put it simply, for those of you, and most of you guys, you trade the markets with me, you trade futures on the big time markets like S&P and NASDAQ and oil and gold and all the other stuff. But the point is this: there are moments when the money is flowing to Mag 7, which is like Apple and, Meta and all the crap. The big 7 names. The names that cannot do anything wrong in the market, right? And so the money is flowing to that. Fine. Nothing wrong with it. How could you go wrong with something that makes billions of dollars every quarter in revenue? Well, you can. Because there is a moment where Wall Street comes up with a fucking idea that is so fucked up that you don't know it because it sounds so good. So basically, for the last year, Wall Street idea was this. I brought it up in many videos and many podcasts. Wall Street idea is this. Well, if, Mag 7, or let's call the Mag 7 the equivalent of a Bitcoin. If that shit's doing so well, then because we're in such a bull market, I can't even say it with a straight fucking face. Bull market my ass. Are y'all, what drugs are y'all taking? I'm not taking those for sure. And actually, I'm not taking any fucking drugs, but if I did, I sure wouldn't want to take those. So the point is this: if you're a Mag 7 investor and people are telling you, well, man, this shit is going to slow down a little, so as a result of Mag 7 slowing down a little, you'd want to put your money in some other group which is not as big as Mag 7. Basically, companies that don't make as much, that don't have as big of a market cap. And because those son of a bitches are going to grow at a much faster pace than Mag 7. And it makes sense at a point when everyone is invested in Mag 7, at a point where they go fucking blind, bullish fucking blind. So now they got to pitch you on something else because the Mag 7 blind bullshit, they call it the bull case. I call it the bullshit case. But, these things stop going high. So people are like, well, give me something that can go higher. Well, buy this shit. It's called the Russell 2000. These are smallish companies, but guess what? They can grow at a much faster pace. So what do? Oh, that sounds good. So that's the next thing that's going to go? Wall Street says yes. Well, there's one little fucking problem with it. Wall Street is fucking dead wrong. So, if you look at the Russell 2000, it's down 20% for the year. Mag 7 is total shit. So what does that tell you? People did not take money out of Mag 7, meaning people did not take money out of Bitcoin, and they did not rotate it into smaller alternative coins that could produce potentially bigger fucking investment opportunities. People were taking money out of Bitcoin, and people were taking money out of altcoins. Well, it proves so that the chart of Russell 2000 also proves that people were taking money out of smaller companies at a much faster pace than were taking money out of the bigger cap companies such as Mag 7. That also proves the point that people were taking money out of alternative coins to Bitcoin at a much faster pace than we're taking money out of Bitcoin. So where the fuck are you going with this, Leo? Where is the fucking trade here? Just tell me, where do I make 50x? Okay, y'all. This is the point where I'm going to tell you something that the rest of the world is not going to tell you. And unfortunately, guess what? This message is only probably going to get like 1,000 views. So most of the people that need to hear this message are never going to fucking hear it. So if you got a friend, I guess share it. Because at one point, YouTube just stopped sharing all the fucking media, whether it's video or podcast, that we've been posting here. So anyways, the point is this. The point is very simple, guys. We're in stagflation. Shit is going to collapse 50 to 60% of the market. And hey, Bitcoin never been through a stagflation case, and most of the people are not pricing that case, and most of the people that are pricing that case don't know how would Bitcoin react. So I'm gonna be the guy with the fearful balls who will tell you what's gonna fucking happen if Bitcoin stagflation case is about to come to a reality. I would say instead of a 50-60% drop, Bitcoin is going to go down by 70 to 90% lower, which gets us to a Bitcoin of 20,000. Now, here comes the kicker. For those of you fucking crypto gurus, you're saying for months now, Bitcoin dominance. So Bitcoin dominance is basically Bitcoin losing its market share to altcoins. And you would think that would derive as a result of Bitcoin market share being the same and altcoin market share going higher, or Bitcoin market share slightly declining and altcoin market share going higher. All of those outcomes would produce market share on Bitcoin to decline in relation to the altcoin share. So that would basically be the case for Bitcoin dominance declining and other coins outperforming. Well, there's one little miscalculation with that. It is also possible for Bitcoin to drop by a much greater extent. It is not going to stop from other altcoins dropping. They're not going to drop as much as Bitcoin will drop from this point further. Hold on, Leo. Like, that is just nuts. Like, now, I thought you were crazy before. Now you're saying that? Like, I'm a crypto gig motherfucker. I'm going to tell you, Leo, you're fucking wrong. Now, let me tell you something, guys. That is what you're thinking right now. But guess what? When Bitcoin was above 100,000, a lot of people like that, fucking crypto gurus, were giving me a lot of shit. Which I don't give a fuck. Okay? They all turned out to be what? Fucking wrong. And I'm telling you, based on current market conditions, which are very unique, they're going to be wrong for a long fucking time. And if you're going to listen to them telling you buying the fucking dip, you will fuck yourself in a way that is going to be the point, beyond the point of any return. So, if you want to make some money right now, you short Bitcoin in a big fucking way. You short altcoins in a smaller way in relation to the way that you short Bitcoin. Bitcoin is going to drop in a much greater percentage in relation to altcoins. It does not mean that altcoins are not going to drop. So there is my base case. There you have it. But if, after me breaking down it, sort of slow motion, because I haven't slept for 36 hours, studying the markets, talking to students, trying to identify how severe these bear case really is. I'm delivering you the message in slow motion, guys, right now. But I'm telling you, Bitcoin's going to 20,000 in the next 4 to 6 months. Ethereum is going to 1,100 in the next 4 to 6 months. Solana is going to $20 in the next 4 to 6 months. Now, I know most of you would like for me to get admitted to a mental hospital making a statement like that. And I would say that people that belong in a mental hospital are the people that were buying Solana at 280, Bitcoin at 108, and Ethereum at above 4,000. Now, since it is a majority of the crypto enthusiasts, most of them would disagree that they belong in a fucking mental institution. But yet, that's my base case. So, madness of the people, I wouldn't even call it a tulip mania. I'd call it just pure fucking stupidity. And if there's anything that I know in my history of a short seller, when you have an abundance of people betting on the same outcome at a point when things are so elevated, there's no way that shit is sustainable and shit is going to come down. Now, most of the people that don't understand the 13 market moves, never studied it, don't understand the patterns, don't understand the moves, they would say this shit is ridiculous. My main argument is Solana and Ethereum are already trading under the day before Trump election, which makes it a grand scale move to type situation. And my argument is not that Bitcoin is going to go to 70,000 or 67,000 or 64,000. My argument is that it's going to go below that by a magnitude of 16 to 30% based off what Ethereum and Solana has already done. Now, most of the people are going to think that I am fucking stupid and insane for bringing up that argument by itself, comparing Ethereum and Solana to Bitcoin. But look, I think it's a pretty straight and fair game if we're trying to talk about Bitcoin dominance in relation to other coins. I happen to pick 2 other coins that already in the progress of making a move to and are negative in relation to where they traded the day before the great election of the top of all motherfucking coins. So yeah, 108 was the motherfucking top that everybody else told you was going to go to 150, 250, 1 mil. Look, the stories go on. Look, the point is this, like, if you watched any of my courses and if you trade with me, if you trade with anyone at 13 market moves, you understand it is easy to be a bull when things are bullish. It is easy to be a bear when things are bearish. But to be profitable as a trader, you have to understand the conditions when everyone is bullish to be bearish and when everyone is bearish to be bullish. You can go and fact check this right fucking now. There is a video that I posted when Bitcoin was at 16,000. I said, like, understand this. Understand how crazy this shit is. I said short Bitcoin. I said, who the fuck shorts Bitcoin at 16,000? That's what I fucking said. I said, who the fuck How stupid and blind do you have to be to short Bitcoin at 16,000? And my message was the same to Bitcoin bulls at 100, above 100, at 105, at 108. My message was the same. Who the fuck buys Bitcoin above 100, at 105, at 108? So, if you get this simple idea, what I am trying to tell you is something that nobody else is telling you at this moment, which is Bitcoin is going to 20,000. And Bitcoin dominance is going to happen in a way that nobody can see it. If Bitcoin goes to 20,000, but Ethereum only drops to 1,100, if Solana only drops to $20, then there you go. There you have it, your Bitcoin dominance go in total shit in relation to other coins. So what I'm saying, Bitcoin could drop 70% from here, while other coins can only drop 40 to 50% from here. And if by definition that happens mathematically, Bitcoin dominance goes to shit, which is what the market expects, with the exception that the market expects Bitcoin dominance in a different fashion. They expect Bitcoin to stay or go slightly higher, while the rest of the altcoins go exponentially higher. Well, mathematically, because they're bulls, they are misinterpreting the fact that Bitcoin can drop by a whole lot more by definition of a move to and stagflation case and what's currently happening in the markets. And altcoins may not have to drop as much from here as Bitcoin, and that mathematically is going to position altcoins to do better than Bitcoin, which has not made a move to formation in relation to, let's say, Ethereum or Solana. So, if you guys have any questions about this, I mean, this is a pretty bold prediction. I don't think anybody on Wall Street would be willing to make that. But if you're confused about anything, I just want you to think about one thing right now, is that Bitcoin trading has changed in a crazy, wild fucking way. You got big players like BlackRock and Goldman Sachs that now own a big part of Bitcoin. And I'm telling you, there is a difference in the structure of ownership now in, March 7th, 2025 in relation to, 3 years ago, 5 years ago, 7 years ago. And the difference in that structure is what is so bearish to Bitcoin. So most of these big players like BlackRock and Goldman Sachs and all the motherfucking big banks, they would not necessarily allocate money to shit coins like Ethereum and Solana and blah, blah, blah. They just go for the best thing. What's the best thing? Okay, fucking Bitcoin. Okay, we're fucking buying that. Okay. Now you have a percentage of these big money players that own a substantial part of Bitcoin, which a lot of people that you hear talk on YouTube, they argue that that is actually a bullish case for Bitcoin because now you have big players that own it and therefore it's in their interest to drive the share price higher. I would say that is a total bullshit, fucking retarded idea, because that actually now makes Bitcoin so fucking bearish in relation to other altcoins. So Wall Street may not be willing to put their money into shit coins, but they're all in on Bitcoin. But when they're all in on Bitcoin, that means they don't give a fuck. They can sell Bitcoin at the levels that they never thought of selling Bitcoin ever before. And basically that means that, you got a lot of people that could be selling this stuff at the same time, like big players. Like, these guys are not going to hodl. You know what I'm saying? These guys are not going to hodl. When we're talking about these guys hodling, they're not talking about, Goldman Sachs is going to hodl. They're not talking about that kind of stuff. They're not talking about, Goldman Sachs. Like guys, understand this. When Goldman Sachs is ready to sell, they're going to sell. They don't give a damn. When Goldman Sachs wants to unload their position, BlackRock wants to unload their position of Bitcoin, like when it meets certain parameters, certain risk criteria that is preset mathematically, like we're not talking about the same people that bought Bitcoin because they wanted the world to be decentralized and because they wanted to, central banking to go belly up. I mean, we're not talking about these people. These people are exactly on the opposite side of the equation. These people are like, whoa, hold on. We're not making money on this Bitcoin trade anymore? Fucking dump it all. We're out of this shit. We're not interested. We're losing money on this shit now. We're out. Like, these investment banks, they only want something if it makes money. There's no ideology behind it. There's no... somebody buying Bitcoin, because they're sick of the man and the system, and there's nothing like that when the big money comes in, right? So now you find in like the most bullish things, I would argue, is now the most bearish thing is the fact that these big banks, they don't give a shit about ideology or making the world a better place. Like, these fuckers are now going to dump. And the fact that they own so much of Bitcoin, which was never the case before, is the very fact that could make Bitcoin price go so much lower than we have ever seen before. So for those of you that think Bitcoin 20,000 the next few months is like something fucking ridiculous, I want you to at least open your mind to it. Because if this was the case, which it is the fucking case, okay? We're talking about the case of stagflation. We're talking about the case of Bitcoin losing its dominance. And I just stated the main reason for it. It's the fact that the big fucking money owns a lot of it. And they have no attachment to it. It's just a business transaction. So when the business transaction begins to lose money, they fucking sell it and they get fucking rid of it. And that was never a case. When you saw drawdowns by as much as, 70% within a couple of months, which was a historic precedent in 2017, 2018, at that point, you didn't have BlackRock and Goldman Sachs involved. You didn't have any big institutional players. We're just talking about, pure, idealists. The pioneers and idealists were in it. And even with that, we had some big fucking drawdowns. But now that you got these big players in, when they decide to dump, they're going to fucking dump. And there's nothing you can do about it. So, Bitcoin is going way the fuck lower. That is not the consensus now, but if I was to summarize, the greatest trader of all times, which is the reminiscences of the stock operator, he would say that he would build a big position when something is down 20%. When it becomes apparent that the bear market is confirmed, that's when you put your biggest short position. Shorting is betting against something going higher, and you would be making money if something drops. So, with the current setup and current market conditions, it is almost undeniable that Bitcoin could drop by as much as 60-70% from current levels of around 90,000. But that could be proven to be a conservative statement over the course of the upcoming 4 to 6 months. So, sounds wild. sounds crazy. Sounds like something that nobody is pricing in. And so when it comes to trading options, that is exactly the type of setup that you would want to go for, especially if you understand how to read the charts. Recently, we have had a situation on the stocks charts where we had a confirmation of a huge candle going to the upside, following by a huge candle going to the downside, which basically confirms a reversal of the trend from bull to bear. Now, I'm going to tell you what happens after such instances is something can go sideways to slightly higher for a little bit, anything from 5 to 10 days, but after that it's going to drop. So at this point, to us here at 13 Market Moves, which we are focused on studying the fundamentals and the charts and putting it all together in perspective, trying to combine it with the historic analogs, the outcome is absolutely inevitable that Bitcoin is going to go lower. Crypto is going to go lower. The financial markets in the United States are going to go lower. United States dollar is going to go fucking lower. So if you're trying to buy the dip, you will get killed. So if you want to make money in this market, you call 13 Market Moves. Go to 13mmtv.com. Click the big orange button. Stop fucking off because you're about to lose a lot of money if you keep buying the dip. You need some strategies now that could help you pocket 10, 20, 30, 50x, guys. I mean, for some people, they don't understand what 50x is. That's 5,000% on your return, which I know some of you fuckers that are just like, you don't have a big swinging dick and a set of balls to go for it. I mean, you're happy when you make 5-10%, but I would say, why would you even be in the financial markets if you're trying to make 5-10%? Go fucking do something else, damn it. I mean, that is fucking ridiculous. Anyway, for those of you that are ready to go for a transformation, the time to do it is now. So, do it big. Or fucking don't do it. Hey, you want to do it small? Hey, go watch some other YouTube channels. They're going to tell you to buy the dip, right before shit is about to drop 60-70%. Go do it. The problem is you're going to miss on a perfect entry. And, when you lose your shit, you're going to come to 13 Market Moves and say, oh, guys, well, Bitcoin is at 20,000. I'm ready to short it. And we'd be telling you, no, we're not shorting this shit at 20,000. We're buying calls. And be like, but it's dropping and it's so negative. And I'm like, guys, I don't care what you tell me. I'm going to buy puts now at 20,000. And it's the same guy, it's the same type of trader that I've seen year after year after year that goes so fucking bullish at the top beyond their fucking mind and loses money. And it's the same trader that shorts the bottom that's losing their fucking mind. How do you distinguish what's the top and what's the bottom? Well, that takes years of experience in understanding the market conditions. So that's why you dial 13marketmoves.com, put in your information, get in touch with someone here. You go to 13mmtv.com and schedule a fucking call. Right, you'd better be ready because, most of you guys, you just, honestly, most of you fuckers, you shouldn't even be trading the market because you're so goddamn emotional. Oh my God, it's red, I'm getting out. It's green. Oh my God, it's green, I'm taking profits. Yeah, right before, the trade would have made you fucking 10x, you take profit at 1x. What does that make you? Fucking emotional lunatic of the market. So stop the madness. You think I'm the madman thinking, crypto's about to collapse. Like Bitcoin can go down 70%, 80% from here. Yeah, let's see. Let's see who is the fucking lunatic. I dare you buy the fucking dip because we're shorting every single moment of the current market conditions. And we're certainly shorting the bounces because that's the strategy that makes you the most. So, tired of being a bull, brainwashed by the general media and losing money every fucking day? Get in touch with 13 Market Moves. Let's roll. 13mmtv.com. Do it, or you're going to fucking lose a lot more on buying the dips. Stop it now. Let's fucking go. Short the fuck out of this market.